So hello everyone, this is Sanjay Sharma from AR Hub. I'm a game developer, and to know more about my projects, visit sanjayGNG.in. By the end of this video, we would have made something like this where we'll click on start button, we'll go back to another scene where a number will be displayed, and if it is according to a guess, we'll click on correct, and if not, we'll click on higher, 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 or lower, 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 and when we'll click on correct, we'll get back to our play again scene and we can play it again. Actually, the theme of this game is a little bit silly, but it will lay the foundations of Unity UI. So let's get started. So let us first see what is the core game mechanics of our game. Well, here is the game mechanics of a game. We'll give the player a choice to think of a number between a given range, and when the player thinks of it, we will have our guess of that number, and upon player feedback that the chosen number was that the displayed number is higher or lower than his guessed number, than his chosen number. So we will again guess the number depending upon the player feedback, and if the player gives the correct, we will get back to our main game screen where the player can again play it. So here is a core game loop. Well, it is a pretty simple, but because this the scope of this video to focus on the Unity UI basics. So let us get started and create it. Let us get back to Unity, and we'll start off by creating an image. So just right click UI and image, and as you can see, the canvas is automatically created because everything in Unity's UI takes place under the canvas. Let us see some of the properties of the canvas. Well, screen space overlay, well, render mode has three modes: screen space overlay, screen space camera, and world space. 90% of time we will use screen space overlay only, and it just means that the UI is overlaid over the screen. And UI scale mode, I seriously want you to scale with screen size, and put up a reference resolution if you want, but I don't want. I will just change my game resolution to full HD. Well, it is already in the full HD. If you don't have one, just click on the plus sign and add your resolution. So my game resolution is in the full HD, and that is 1920 into 1080. And when I already have a resolution set here, the reference resolution doesn't matter. So UI scale mode is a scale with screen size. The resolution is 1920 into 1080, and there's nothing more in this. Let's get back to our image, back to our scene. Let us resize my image. So R, and after pressing R, I will just resize my image. Now to change the color of the image, under the inspector window, there is this color properties. Just double click on it and you can have a color. I will just make it a little light and change to this. Change the alpha property to make it a little transparent, and we have this on our game screen. Just go back and forth checking that what your game looks like over your game screen. So we have our image, and I'll rename this to background. It is good practice to name all your things properly. And what's the second thing that I want? Well, I want a button, so I'll just click on UI button. So I have my button. I'll W, and I'll just duplicate it, Control D. So I have my three buttons. Let us see how it looks in our game window. Well, it looks good. So this button should be named higher. This should be named correct, and this should be named lower. Well, you can do whatever you want, but this is how my game flow works, so I'm renaming it. I also need to rename the text. This has to be higher. This has to be correct, and this has to be lower. So now I have properly renamed all of my buttons. Let us see how it looks. Well, it looks like this. Well, it looks good. So now I need to have a text field here. So select the canvas, right click, UI, and text. Well, here's my text field. Let's see how it looks good. So actually I don't like the font, so I have one font with me, this one. So I will be using this everywhere into my button text and everywhere. Just drag and drop the font. I seriously don't like Arial, so I'm using another font. You can download the fonts from dafont.com. Link is given in the description. And let's see how our game view looks. Well, it looks good, but our text is somehow smaller and a little blurry. So how to fix that? So just go to the text, and here in the font size, you can see that the maximum font size we can have, we can have is 300. Yes, that's the maximum font size. When you have make it 300, you will see that the text is gone. Well, where it is gone. So it's nothing. Well, horizontal overflow should be overflow and vertical overflow should be overflow and not truncate, and you will find your text. Well, it is a bit bigger, so you will just click on R and resize your text accordingly. Well, don't resize your button, you have to resize your text, okay? Just keep that in mind. So now it's proper, and same thing I will do for my other two buttons. Well, actually, I should have done it earlier and then copied, but doesn't matter, we'll do it once again. Overflow, overflow, and then R. Oh shit, yeah, well, that's the thing. You have to select your text, and this time I wrongly selected my background. So just select your text and just be careful, just be a little careful, and accordingly, yeah, it's good. Now for the lower text, font size 300, and font size 300. It should be overflow, horizontal overflow, overflow, vertical overflow, overflow, and then resize your text. Resize your text, not the button. Keep that in mind. Every time a text should be selected and not the button. And this text also we will make it 300, overflow, overflow. Well, this is the new text, is the text where we will be displaying our guest number. So let us see a game window. While it looks good, if not very good, but it looks good. To change the camera background color, just go to the inspector properties of the camera and change the color. I'll be changing it to somewhat this. Let us see how my game view looks. It looks a little worse, so I will change this. This looks good. So, oh no, it's not. No, it's okay. So I have my three button setup. I have my text field setup. Now what I need to do? I need to insert, well, I need to work on the core game mechanic of our game, that is to guess the number. So for that, let us just ensure that our hierarchy window is clean. No, the text has not been named. I will name it guess text. Everything has been correctly named otherwise. And seriously, I'm not liking this background color. So what I will do, I will just import an image. So to import an image in Unity, you need to just drag and drop it. So I'll just do it. Uh, well, let us have something. Well, what you should pick, what will pick. Okay, oh, okay. This one. Yes, this one's cool. No, no, no. Well, let us have this Call of Duty Ghost image. Just drag and drop it, and the image will be imported. And I will be changing this background. So in the source image, I'll just drag and drop it. You need to ensure that it is supported. I will change my guest text color to white because flag is seriously not looking nice over it. Yes, now it's good. This is our new text, and let us save our scene, Control S, our core game scene. So, and let us just clean up our project window, which is currently not clean. I will create a folder named images. Drag and drop my images over it. Just create a folder named fonts and drag and drop my fonts over it. And just create a folder named scripts. You might be wondering why we are creating so much folders. Well, it is because it is a good practice in Unity and in everywhere to have everything cleaned, and because later on you don't get messed up. Well, this is a small project and you will not get messed up in any stage, but when you're working on a big project, you need to do this, and it's a good habit to pick up that habit now only. So just click on a scripts folder, right click, create C# script, and we will name it our core underscore game script. Spaces are not allowed in our scripts. Just click enter, and while the script is creating, double click to open. We'll not be needing update, so just delete the update. And the very first thing we need is our three integer variables. First is the minimum range, second is the higher range, and the third is our guess. So create three variables so that later on it's not a problem for you. As I have said, all these habits are really important when you're working on a big project. It might not make a difference in such a small project, but it is a good habit. So int minimum guess, int max guess, start your variable name with small letters, and int unity engine dot ui. Well, we need this header file for using our UI element. So now we will have our text variable. Yes, as you can see, we make it public. So we have our guest text now. We have all our variables set up, and in start menu we need to declare it. So what would be our guess? Well, initial our guess would be, what would be our guess? Initial, I guess, would be the average of two numbers. Later on we will add a random number to it. So why add later on? We'll just add here only. So there's a function called random dot range. It takes up two values, both are inclusive, minimum guess comma max guess, and it will give a random number between those two, which will be our guess. And we need to display it. We need to display it when our game starts. Our new text here. We don't want this. We will be editing this new text from our code. So to get access to this text from our code, let us see how we'll do it. So we have our guest text. Currently our code doesn't know that of which text we are talking about. I will let you know later on that how we'll put that, but currently let us assume, because it will be that this text is our guest text here in Unity, this text we're talking about it, and let us just display it. So how we'll display it? The question arises. So to display it, you just have to do guest text. Now, which component of guest text? Now, as you can see in Unity, in the guest text there are several components: rect transform, canvas render, text, and these three components. Now we need to edit this text component of the guest text. So how we'll do it? Guest text dot text equal to guess. Now this text doesn't accept integer values, so we need a string value. That's why it is showing a green red line. So to make it to string, there is a function in Unity dot to string, which will make this into a string. Now let's see if our this works. We need to initialize it. 1 Minimum maximum guess would be 1000. You can also make it public, but I won't. So let us click on play mode. But why it is not working? Well, we just forgot to attach a game script to any game object. Well, we'll create an empty game object and name it core game, and we'll attach our script to this empty game object. And we need also, now it is asking for which guest text we are talking about. We are talking about this. We'll just drag and drop it here like we just did, and now let us click on the play mode and it should work. Well, it's again not working. Now let us see why. Well, whenever this type of problem occurs, it's generally because of the problem in font. I'll just import another font. So I'll click on my guest text and change my font. And let us see now if it works. Yes, it is working. It is showing me 53. Now our buttons are still not set up and we need to set up our buttons. So let's get back to our script. But before that, let me just resize my guest text. I'll make it bold, bold, bold only. Okay, so I have made it bold and I'll just put it a little here. Okay, now let's get back to our core game script. We still need to set up our buttons, so we'll make a function public to work, and let us create another function named on press lower. This will happen when we'll press the lower button, and something, well, we do not need to set up our correct button because it involves changing of scenes, and we'll be having another script for that. And here also, so to work. Control S to save. Now let us get back to our Unity. First, we'll set up our buttons. We'll click on the higher button. Just wait for the script to load. And in this on click, currently it's empty. On click is empty. We'll click on the plus icon. Now it demands a game object, and on which the script is attached, which is our core game object. Just click on the drop down menu, core game, and select our function, which is on press higher. And in the lower one, we'll click on the plus button, and the game object on which the script is attached, and core game on press lower. Now both our buttons are set up, but our code for on press high and on press lower are still not set up. So what we'll just do is, what we need to do when someone is pressing on press high, that means that the guess that someone is putting is actually higher than our current guess. So just think of it. Just pause the video and think what should be the on press higher. Well, if you just didn't pause the video, then just see, and if you did, well, it's really good. So it is that my guess would become, sorry, on press higher, my minimum guess, my current guess will become my minimum guess, because just think of it, you will know why. And what would be next? We need to again make the guess, so we need to copy these two things. Now why to copy these two things? We'll just make a function of both of them. So let us just create a function. Well, let us create two functions. This function, what it is doing, refactor extract method, and it is doing the function of next guess. Well and good. What this is doing, it is printing our guess. So print guess. Now we have our two functions set up. I want my these two on press high on press low to be above them. It doesn't make any difference, but for my feel of goodness, I'm doing it. And after my minimum guess, when my guess becomes my minimum guess, what I need to do is next guess. And after that, I need to print guess. Well, that's okay. On press load, well, same thing. Now my max guess, now my guess becomes the max guess. Then I need to next guess and then print guess. So this is how it should work. Now let us just get back towards it and see if it works at all. Wait for the script to load. So it is doing 37. Let us assume that I chose the number 125. So higher, 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 higher. Well, it's not getting above. What's the matter? Well, it just froze. Why? Let us do it once again. Let us choose the number 125 again and let's see. Well, it's not getting above 100. Why? Because our max guess is 100. Just change it to 1000 and get back again to Unity. And let us choose a different number this time. No, let us choose 125 only. Our game need to guess it. 125. Okay, so lower, lower, higher, lower, lower, higher, 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 higher. 125. That's correct. And our correct buttons is still not set up, so we need to do that. Now let us get back to our core game. Now our core game mechanic is set up, so and we also have our guess random, so we just need to do nothing now for our core game, but we need more scenes. We need a start scene and we need a play again scene. So just click on right click, create scene, and I'll name it start underscore scene. So this is my new scene. Save changes to your old scene, right click UI and image. Just make my image a little bigger. Let me import another image for this one on my images folder. Drag and drop up to the sprite, and now I have it. I'll seriously upscale it. I don't want my camera background colors, so I'll upscale it. Let us see how game view looks. Looks bad. Now it looks good. We need to create a button. Right click UI button. So change the size of your button. So this is our start button. Let us see how to game window. Well, start. We need other button. Control D. This is our quit button. On back to our start button, we need to change our text. Start. Font should be 300 to make it more clear. Overflow, and adjust our text accordingly. It's start. On back to our quit, okay. Font size 300. Overflow, adjust our text accordingly. Now it's good. Well, actually it doesn't look good, but we'll make it good, okay? So don't worry. Normal color. Let us change the alpha value. Quit button. Let us change the alpha value. Alpha value is for transparency, as I told you earlier. So I'm not making it much more beautiful. Well, you can do it, but I'll be just setting up my scene for start and quit. So this start is too much transparent. Now it's a little better. Well, I think this is a little better one. Start and quit. And let us set up our start button. Well, we need a script. Get back to our scripts. Create C# script. I'll name it as scene manager, as it is managing our scenes. Create your script. Double click to open it. And we seriously don't need update or start function public using Unity engine dot scene management, scene manager dot load scene. Now here comes our trick part. Well, this will be 0. Now why it is 0? So let's get back to our Unity file, build settings. Now we need to drag our scenes here. The first our start scene should load, and then our core game scene should load, and then our end game scene should load, that is a play again. Now here these two values 0 and 1 are build index. These are the things, these are the numbers by which Unity knows about which scene we are talking about. So here I have put it 0. Well, it will be 1 because we need to get to our core game. And as you can see in our build settings, the build index of core game is 1. So this is it. And next we will have public void quit button application dot quit. Well, this works with Android and PC, so there's no problem. For iOS there's some other thing, you can search it on Unity documentation, but for Android and PC this will work. So we have our two functions set up, and let us get back to our scene. Well, here create an empty game object where it is, and name it scene manager. So we have it. Put our script on it, scene manager, and click on our start button, and on click plus, drag and drop the game object scene manager, function scene manager, start menu and click on button and then click on drag and oh no, that should be done on the quit button, so I'll just remove it. Scene manager, scene manager, start menu, and on the my quit button plus drag and drop the game object, scene manager, quit button. So well, the quit button will not work in my Unity editor, but when I build it to PC or Android, it will work perfectly fine. Let us see if this works or not. Well, the quit is not working, but my start button is working perfectly, so it's good. Now we need to have an play again scene, so right click on my scenes folder, create scene, and I'll name it end game. No, play again would be a more sensitive, a more appropriate term. So I have my scene, but why did I create another scene? I will just delete it, okay? I'll just copy my start scene because it will be a lot more easier. Control D to copy your scene and click on it and rename it. Play again. Now we have this scene. Double click on it to open it. Save a start scene, of course. Now play again scene has nothing in it because at the time at which it was created, our start scene wasn't saved. So again, we need to delete our play again. Come back to start scene, don't save, come back to start scene. Now the start scene is saved. Duplicate the start scene, rename the start scene to play again. Double click on play again, and now we are on our play again scene. In this, I will remove the quit button and rename the start button to play again. So we have our button. We have a script attached. Now we need to add one more function onto our script, that is for void play again scene manager dot load scene and scene 1 build index 1. Now this one is set up, but our play again scene has still not been added onto our build settings. So we'll just go to the file, build settings, add our play again scene. Now it has build index 2, and we'll get back to our core game scene, save it, set up our correct button. We need to add another function for it. So I'll just public void correct button and scene manager dot load scene and 2. So this is our build index of a play again scene. Now I think everything is just set up. So get back, set up a correct button, click on the wait for the script to load. Right click, create empty, scene manager, add our script towards it, scripts, scene manager. Now we have our scene manager script. Just click on the correct button plus drag and drop our game object, scene manager, correct button script. Now I think everything is just set up. Let us get back to our scenes, start scenes, save this game. Now let us click on play and see if it works. So the quit will not work in Unity editor. I'll just click on start. Let us guess a number. My guess is say 500. So lower, higher, lower, higher, lower, higher. No, 500. That's correct. Click on correct and it's play again, and we are here. And so So our basic game is just complete now. If you want to build it on Android, just click on File, Build Settings, click on Android, click on Switch Platform, and then Build and Run, or Build just to get your APK, and you can have it on your device. And for PC, Mac, and Linux, you can just click on Build and Run. Well, that will work. So this is it, and let's see you in the next one.